10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Intro.
Live from Ball State's election
Stand by to
headquarters,
camera 2.
This is a special edition of NewsLink Indiana, BSU Votes 2016.
Coming into them.
Good evening and welcome to a special edition of NewsLink Indiana. I'm Emerson Lehman.
And I'm Rachel Russell. Thank you for
Camera
joining
1.
us for our post-election show. Following the results of the presidential
Stand by
election,
to the package.
some Ball State students found a peaceful way to express their opinion. NewsLink Indiana reporter Brittany Ehrman has the story.
In
Less
the
than
pack,
24 hours after Donald Trump was
Minute
declared
40.
the winner of the 2016 presidential election, Muncie community members and Ball State students came together to make their voices heard.
It's going to be a very, very scary 4 years.
Stories and poems,
Aristotle, Alexander the Great.
signs, and posters brought people together to demonstrate kindness and inclusion. Levi Todd is a junior at Ball State and organized the event. He says the purpose was to show the opposition of Trump's leadership and bring light to a dark situation.
There is a significant potential for justice and,
yes, camera 1 on her.
kind of like a faith in humanity, I guess, to be
We've
restored.
got about a
Todd
minute.
stressed that this would be a peaceful demonstration and nothing more. And UPD was at the event to make sure of it. And it was a peaceful protest that Reverend Seth Carrier-Ladd called eye-opening.
Just to hear people's stories and to hear their fear and they're scared for their lives in some cases.
We've got 45
It's a
seconds
reminder
in the
of how
pack
important
to
it is
camera
that
1
we
on Rachel.
combat the hate and ignorance that is being spread by people who are going to be in power in our country.
A country that Ball State student Emily Kipp says has disappointed her. But she said the event was empowering and a confirmation that she's not alone.
I feel like this is a
30
time
seconds.
where everybody needs people, and this unity was just really nice to
20.
see.
I love every single one of you. We will get through this.
Stand by.
Now, despite different messages and shouts around campus from people that were pro-Trump, the people here remain peaceful and follow through with their message. In Muncie, Brittany Ehrman, NewsLink, Indiana.
Camera 1.
The organizer of the protest also
Stand by
posted
to
on the
camera
Facebook
2
event
on a
page
2
that
shot.
people are more than welcome to use it as a resource thread or a safe space to share their opinion.
And last night, Donald Trump wasn't the only Republican
Stand by to
candidate
camera
with a big
3
win.
with Tony.
NewsLink's Tony Sandlaben has the breakdown of Indiana's prominent races. Tony, what can you tell us?
Well,
Camera
Rachel,
3.
Emerson, good evening, everyone. We had no shortage of excitement in last night's elections, especially here
Yo.
in Indiana. Todd Young was able to pull away from Evan Bayh for the Senate seat. The margin was a little
We'll be coming back
surprising,
to
not so
camera
much the
2
outcome.
on a
Curtis
3
Hill
shot.
won the Attorney General position by a very wide margin, but the surprises really came when Jennifer McCormick
And
beat
Ryan,
incumbent
stand
Glenda
by
Ritz
to
in the
camera
superintendent
5.
race, and when Lieutenant Governor Eric Holcomb beat Democrat John Gregg in the gubernatorial race. All along, the polls favored Ritz and Gregg. They got close as Election Day drew closer, but when it mattered, McCormick and Holcomb pulled through to win
Okay,
their
come to
respective
camera 2
races.
now.
Guys, those races were not the only ones that saw some incorrect poll predictions.
Stand by,
we certainly
Ryan.
saw plenty of that in the presidential race as well. Donald Trump won almost all of the major battleground states, even though late polls before Election Day really were predicting otherwise. Max Lewis is over at
Okay,
Cardinal Metrics
stand
to
by.
break down Trump's victory last night. Max?
Cue him.
Yeah, Tony, that's right. Those polls did not turn out the way they were supposed to. Now, if we take a look at our map right here, you can see we have these teal states right here, Arizona, Michigan, and New Hampshire. Those states have not officially come in yet, but Arizona and Michigan are projected to go Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton
Okay,
is
stand
winning
by.
about
We'll be coming to
0.2%
camera
in
2
New
on a
Hampshire,
3 shot,
and she
followed
is
by
projected
an
to win
OTS
that.
on camera 1 on
Now,
Rachel.
how Donald Trump got to that 270, here's how he did it. The battleground states, Florida, North Carolina,
Sorry, I took
Ohio,
that
Pennsylvania.
lower third a little too
Those were
soon.
all key states to him winning, as well as Wisconsin and Michigan. Ohio and North Carolina and Florida were all battleground states, pretty close in the election, but here's what did it in. Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Wisconsin and Michigan, that's part of Clinton's, what we call the blue wall. These are Rust Belt states of the Midwest, as well as Pennsylvania, part of the New England area of the United States. Now, Pennsylvania was expected to go to Clinton, but that did not happen. Wisconsin and Michigan were closer races, but these states only went to Republicans. They only went to Republicans in 1988 when George H.W. Bush was president. So those were unexpected victories for Trump.
Stand by
but
to
they
camera
did lead
2.
him to 270 electoral votes. Back to you guys at the desk.
Cue 'em.
And thank you, Max. Tony, your final
Okay,
thoughts on the turnout
stand
for
by
Republican
to
districts?
Rachel.
Well, it certainly was a big night for the
After
GOP.
Tony's
We saw a lot of
wrap
victories.
on camera
They're going to
1 on
have
an
control
OTS.
of the House and the Senate, as well as the White House, which means ultimately they'll get control of the Supreme Court as well, considering the vacancy that needs to be filled being, in light of the late Antonin Scalia. But we've kind of seen this kind of control before. 3 times it's really stuck out in history, and all 3 times really has not brought much good as far as history is concerned. Last time we saw it was in 2001 when George W. Bush was president. The Republicans had control of all 3 branches of government, and we saw the recession come in 2008. Before that, we saw it in the 1930s during the Franklin D. Roosevelt era. The
stand by
Democrats
to
had
camera
control
1.
of the government then, and we saw World War II. Then before that, 1928, Republicans had it again. That led to the Great Depression. So history has not been kind to
I'll take his mic
one
down,
party
then he can
controlling
take
all 3
his
branches.
mic off, but I'm going to
And while we certainly hope that this is not an
bad,
instance where
that's all right.
history does repeat itself. Tony, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Camera 1.
Democratic
he can take
candidate
his
Hillary
mic off.
Clinton gave a speech to supporters and staffers in New York earlier today. This comes after Clinton called President-elect Donald Trump
coming
and
into a
conceded
VO.
the election.
VO.
As she took the stage amid
We'll
applause,
become to a
supporters in
close-up
the
on
audience
Rachel.
cried. Clinton called her defeat painful, but encouraged her supporters to keep an open mind towards Trump's presidency. She urged her supporters to accept the results of the election, saying, quote, "I still believe in America and I always will." Clinton also had a message for the little girls in the audience, telling them that they are valuable and should follow their dreams.
Close up.
Clinton's running mate Tim
Okay,
Kaine
come to
spoke
Emerson.
before Clinton and praised
Stand
her
by.
dedication and loyalty.
Emerson.
President Obama spoke earlier today in front of the White
we'll be
House
coming into a
Rose
shot.
Garden.
Stand
Obama
by.
said he was heartened by President-elect Donald Trump's call for unity. He also praised Clinton's campaign nomination, saying, "It sends a message to daughters nationwide." Obama spoke about the election, saying that the process was long and left many happy and many others not. He also gave some advice to young people and first-time voters.
In the shot.
The young people
20 seconds, and we'll be coming back to camera 2 on a 2-shot for the weather toss.
and may be disappointed by the results. I just
15,
want you to know you have to stay
10,
encouraged. Don't get cynical. Don't ever think you can't
4,
make a difference.
3. All right, coming back.
And going forward, Obama expressed confidence in the future of America. And Rachel, one thing I'm very
Okay,
confident about,
standing
it seems
by
like this
to
fall
Caleb.
weather is here to stay.
Yeah, it has definitely been pretty chilly out. Caleb, what can you tell us?
Have him read.
Yeah, Rachel and Emerson, these colder temperatures are going to be the theme over the next 7 days, but we're going to see plenty of sunshine like we did today. Take a look down McKinley Avenue at the Bell Tower. Plenty of
Okay, we'll be
sunshine
going
out
to
there
the
today.
coming up
But
on
colder
camera
temperatures
2
are on the
on
way. I'm
2-shot.
going to talk about that here in the next half an hour. Clear skies, cool down on the way, and the slight chance for some rain over the weekend. I'll have your full 7-day forecast in the next half an hour that will cure your election blues. Emerson and Rachel, back to you at the desk.
Okay, coming up.
Ball State is in the third phase of its presidential search.
And we'll have more of Ball State students' reactions to Donald Trump. All of this and more after the break.
All right, we're in the break. 2 minutes. Okay, you're good right there, Attila.
What camera are we coming back on?
Well, yeah, just go right there. All right, we've got a minute 30, just about.
What camera are we coming back on?
Camera 2 on an OTS on Emerson.
It was just the package. We're 45 seconds heavy as of right now.
Since it's online, it's going to be stretching back to last year. Aaron, they clicked the cover right. It did say online a minute ago. She hit send and it said online.
Mal, what do you need from me?
Let's go ahead and clear the
Okay, we're
next time because we're
now or next time?
we can do it
Now? Okay, we're gonna come back in about 35 seconds.
So I've come up with a family emergency plan.
Okay, stand
Great.
by about 20
What is it?
seconds.
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know
To
what to
Emerson
do?
on camera 2.
Won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
Me too.
15,
Thanks for this, sweetie.
10, 9,
Talk to your kids about
8,
who to call, where to
7,
meet, what to pack.
6, 5,
Visit ready.gov/kids for
4,
tips
3,
and information.
2, 1.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. And after last night's upset victory by outsider and now President-elect Donald Trump, many Ball State students don't know what is to come next. The shock is still settling in, and the result has left some fearful. NewsLink's Brenton Roy reports.
We're in the SOT, minute 50, and we'll be coming back to Emerson on camera 2 on a close-up.
President-elect Donald Trump. Those words are a godsend to some, or a nightmare for others. It has now been almost a full day since the polls closed and a long night of ballot counting, but the shock is starting to settle in, leaving some Ball State students worried about the future.
Well, this morning the sun did come up and pigs are not flying, but Donald Trump is the president-elect.
Got about a minute 20.
Catch up with some students to get their reaction on the surprise victory of Donald Trump. I am standing here with sophomore Samantha, and can you just tell me your reaction from last night?
I'm terrified, really. I really am. I'm actually really scared being not only part of the LGBT community.
Okay, the next thing
and
I
a
have
woman.
is
I'm
Johnny
scared my
Long.
rights.
When's
I'm sitting
that?
here with Andrea, a freshman. Can I get your reaction of what happened last night?
Yes, definitely. Something that I really noted was that there were a lot
Mel,
of votes for Trump, and that's something
when-
that really
when
shouldn't
are
have
the-
occurred given his history, given the
When's
things that
the
we
Johnny
know now,
Long? When's
given
Johnny
the fact
Long
that rape
come in?
charges
What
were
stories
recently
do I have
dropped. These are things that shouldn't have happened, but
Those
that
are
we
the next lower
allowed,
thirds
and
I
now
have.
we're going to have to deal with the
President
consequences
Trump.
of what happened yesterday.
I mean, yeah, I think once I walk outside and the first thing you see is the color of my skin. So that's one thing that it'll always be something that affects me. And I think just knowing that
We've got 28 seconds.
We have to deal with it on another level now, and not just racism, but sexism and everything else. It's something it's highlighted now, and now we have to deal with it for the next 4 years.
It is definitely a dawn of a new day here in America
Stand
that has
by.
left some students scared and uneasy for the future. In Muncie, I'm Brenton Roy, NewsLink, Indiana.
Come back.
Thank you, Brenton. And Donald Trump's inauguration
Stand
date
by
is
to
set
camera
for
1 on
Friday,
Rachel.
January 20th, 2017.
Now.
The presidential election has come to a close, and while the nation has found who their president will be, Ball State is still in the process of finding their own. The third phase of this search is now in full effect. NewsLink Indiana's Jayla Washington has the story.
In the pack for 340. Is that right? 340?
Last night, students may have been preoccupied with an on-campus election watch
Okay.
party. but
Are there
that
supposed to be
doesn't mean
lower
they're
thirds
thinking
here?
about
Because it
the
doesn't look like it. I think
I feel like we've been hurting as a college.
I need to
because
take those
we've,
OTSs in that pack, but I had
been
no
lacking
cue for
leadership.
those really.
I think the university is running just
For
fine
Brenton,
without it.
he has them in,
University may be doing
but I had
this,
no idea
but
who
Matt
everyone
Marver,
was.
chair of the presidential search committee, says they're taking their job very seriously.
Okay.
First committee structure that we have of representation
Because they're in, I didn't take them, which I should have.
just adds to the flavor, and it really adds to all the perspectives that represent a university.
Monfort
What's
says
the
that
out
search
for this?
may seem lengthy from
What's
outside
the out?
looking in, but that's not the case. Here's what the committee has done so far. Back in August, the
Bug
committee
off.
received input
Bug off.
from Ball State community members, prioritized presidential qualifications, created university president leadership profiles, and had an open discussion with interested candidates. This fall, they've narrowed down the application pool, and now interviews will begin.
I feel like I'm looking forward to getting out of that state of transition and just finding a way for the college to move on and find like an actual path.
And while on this quest for self-rediscovery, both students and the committee have high expectations for their next president.
Definitely.
Okay, we'll be coming back to camera
better
1 on Rachel.
communication within
Matt, stand by.
University.
You're going to have a person that is the face of the university.
This new outlook may have to do with trying to avoid another abrupt situation, like when the university's former president was terminated unexpectedly.
With them making efforts to inform the students of what's going on, I feel like they're trying to
My
remedy
guess
that
is
whole
about
situation.
30 seconds.
Greatly appreciate the presidential search committee. The amount of time that they've given is just thank you, thank you, thank you.
He says Ball State could have a president before all the leaves fall off the trees, or later. In Muncie,
Okay,
Jayla
stand by to
Washington,
camera 1.
NewsLink, Indiana.
Coming back.
The updates on the search, you can find more information on Ball State's presidential search
Emerson,
website.
camera 2.
Despite the polarizing nature of this election, Delaware County's voter turnout was less than it was in 2012. Just over 46,000 Delaware County residents cast ballots in yesterday's election.
In the VO.
According to Delaware County's unofficial election results, voter turnout was almost 51%. This is just below normal for the county. For the 2012 election, almost 89,000 people in Delaware County were registered to vote, and over 45,000 of them voted. That was a 51% voter turnout, which is also lower than the 56% voter turnout in 2008. According to the Star Press,
Okay,
President-elect
stand by.
Donald Trump
He's going to come
dominated
back
in
on camera
precincts with the
2,
highest voter
followed
turnout.
by an OTS on camera
Hillary
1
Clinton
on
won
Rachel.
more than 70% of the vote in parts of Muncie.
I like the font.
The Star Press reported.
Have him keep reading? Oh.
Yeah. Overall, Republican candidates swept most of the local races in yesterday's election.
Camera 1.
Republican Jennifer McCormick defeated Glenda Ritz last night in the race to become superintendent of Indiana schools. McCormick was one of many GOP victories in last night's election.
Okay, we'll be going to the coming up,
McCormick,
and
now the
then that toss will be on
Yorktown
camera
Schools,
2.
had been critical of the way
Two-shot on
Ritz
both of them.
managed the education department. This is an important time for this position as Indiana is working to replace the I-STEP. According to the Indy Star, McCormick said, quote, "We have a lot of work to do."
Keep reading.
The Yorktown School Board will begin to look for a new
took that a little
superintendent
too
to
soon.
replace McCormick soon.
Keep reading.
And cooler temperatures seem like they're here
Sorry
to
about
stay.
that.
Find out the next chance we could soon see some precipitation.
We'll have your full weather forecast after the break.
It's my fault.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
A minute has
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll come back in
He
about
helps
a
me with
minute
my
and a half.
decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
1 minute, Matt. 1 minute to camera 1, 2-shot for the weather toss. Okay. Camera 1.
They're coming.
Got less than a minute.
Light
Yep.
check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
Okay. Alright, he's there. We got 45 seconds.
Come alive with the forest.
That's my fault, I took the
Visit
coming up a little too soon.
discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Does it come back to Caleb? I said we always do a weather toss. So.
About 20 seconds. Camera 1. 15.
Yeah, that's what I already talked to him about a lot of it. I told him that.
Don't wait. Communicate.
The microphone
Make your emergency plan
5,
today.
4, 3, 2, 1.
if he's gonna interview people like that, it has
And
to
welcome
be
back to
close up
NewsLink,
because
Indiana.
he
And
cannot
Rachel,
be
the
in
sun was shining today, a little bit breezy, kind of chilly, but I'm looking forward to seeing what the weekend has.
Yeah, Caleb, can you tell us what to expect?
Yeah, so you mentioned those fall-like temperatures earlier in the forecast, and that is going to be the theme throughout the next 7 days. Plenty of sunshine shining down on the scramble light today
Stop
and this
recording. We're
afternoon.
live.
We had a
Make
little
sure
bit of
we're
cloud
live
cover this morning, but it began
Okay, we're
off
good.
about 9 a.m. Current conditions outside, we're at 43 degrees.
Well,
Seeing
we've
those
got it
clear
live
skies,
streamed,
winds
so
out
I'll
of the
just
west
take it off
northwest
live stream.
At around 6 miles per hour. And high temperatures for today. Here in Muncie, we only got to 55
Just want to
degrees.
make
The
sure
state capital
the
got to 56.
last
Terre Haute and Bloomington,
next
they both
OT
got to
or
57
lower
degrees
third rather is
respectively.
just
Current
sports. That's all
satellite
I've
radar
got
situation,
on here.
we're not seeing anything here locally, but
assuming
in the
that's right.
bi-state area, we saw this precipitation move through our area earlier this morning, dropping just a little bit of rain, but this high pressure is really dominating our area. And what I'm taking a look at here next is this low pressure system beginning to
All right,
move
Matt,
into
so what's gonna
the
happen
south,
here is
and
once
that's
he
going to
moves
affect
to the
us
desk,
during the overnight on Thursday and into
and
Friday,
his-
but overnight
in
tonight,
his
we're going
7
to
day,
see clear
we'll be
skies,
doing a
cold
wide
temperatures
shot
approaching that
on
freeze temperature,
all 4 of
37
them,
degrees, mostly
and
clear
then
conditions. And this is going to be the latest
looks like
frost that we
sports
see here
will
in
be
Muncie
doing a VO, and
for
then
the record,
we'll
October
take it
26,
to
1967
break. So
was the
they'll
when
do
the
their
latest
wrap,
frost
and
had
then
occurred.
sports
We're going
will
to
take
see that
over.
here in our
You wanna
7-day
double check
forecast.
camera
Thus, that
on
forecast
camera
looks
two?
like this.
Camera one,
38
camera
degrees by
Set
7 a.m.
camera one,
58
watch out.
degrees by the time you get the kids off the bus, but it is going to be very
Preset
windy
5.
tomorrow. Precision cast for tomorrow. We're going to see that cold front begin to creep down by the overnight hours, and a few high-level clouds beginning to build back in behind it for tomorrow.
Camera one,
a
yeah.
high of 63 degrees. Those winds are going to be out of the southwest at around 10
Make
to
sure you get
20
all
miles
four
per hour,
of them.
unfortunately, so it is going to be gusty. 7-day forecast
Okay,
looks
we're in
like
this
this
7
Friday,
day.
Saturday, Sunday. Plenty of sunshine. Temperatures are going to drop down into the low 50s, but Monday, temperatures are going to begin to work their way back up through the 50s, and a slight chance for some rain during the overnight hours on Tuesday. But you guys, nothing really that menacing during the overnight and early morning on
we're on
Tuesday.
camera
So
one.
this forecast is fantastic for the next 7 days, in my opinion.
Well, it looks pretty fantastic to us, Caleb. Thank you for that look into weather. And sports is up next. DeMarcus, what can we expect?
We previewed the matchup between Ball State and St. Louis. They're going to be opening up
Scroll.
their season Friday on the road at St. Louis. And the Ball State football team could not hang on to an early lead as they lose to Eastern Michigan. What this means for the Cardinal season coming up.
In the break.
We're back on.
Here's to the things that can keep
All right.
us safe.
Camera 3's
Those
OTSs.
we
Have
use
him look
all
at
the
camera
time
3,
with hardly a
please.
thought.
Perfect.
Those that are silently
Just
standing by
roughly
to
set
save
up
our
the
lives.
OTS.
And now, those that we
left.
carry with us everywhere we go.
I don't.
Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless
I'm okay with
emergency
that.
alerts.
If you want,
Real-time
maybe give him a little
information
more
directly from
on
local
the
sources
border
you
here
know
of
and
his
trust.
arm.
With the unique
His
sound
left.
and vibration, you'll be in
Yep,
the
that's
know
good.
wherever you
I
are.
told him that the last soundbite was way too long.
Got a minute 30 back to DeMarcus on camera 3.
It dropped. Okay.
I know we had it on live stream, so I'd take it off live stream. Okay.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
1 minute.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy.
What are you
Hold
supposed?
on.
What are they supposed to do
Tap,
after
tap,
sports?
Tap, tap.
Let's see.
Oh, and she even talks to it.
After sports, it'll be
She talks to
a
that more than she
3-shot
talks
with
to him.
sports on camera 2.
What's up, bro?
It'll be a 3-shot.
Nice shirt.
And not
What are they
weather.
Who's she talking to?
I don't know. Mal, can you talk to your anchors what they're doing after sports?
A lot.
Mal's talking to him.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little,
30 seconds.
but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore. So you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say?
15.
Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try
10,
to convince yourself
9,
otherwise.
8,
You had it right the
7,
first time.
6, 5, 4. Cue him.
Good evening. Ball State football's path to bowl eligibility got a whole lot tougher last night. The Cardinals now need to win both of their last 2 games in order to be eligible for a bowl game after losing to Eastern Michigan on Tuesday. After jumping out to a 21-0 lead, the Cardinals went on to turn the ball over 5 times in the final 3 quarters
the
en
green
route
out
to
of
a
the shot, right?
48-41 loss.
Okay, take the
Despite the
green out of the shot
miscues,
just a
Ball
little bit.
State took the lead on a touchdown
Down to
from
about
Riley
45.
Neal with less than
45.
2 minutes to go in the game, but the defense could not hold on. Eastern marched down the field and scored a touchdown to win the game. 3 of Ball State's 5 conference losses have now come by a touchdown or less.
We're in the SOT.
But again, it comes down to us making too many mistakes, turning the ball over too many times. We're up +3 early in that game, and the turnover margin, we end up losing 5-3. That can't happen. I'm not going to make any.
In the SOT for 30 seconds.
We simply have to find a way to win games, to finish games. It's an attitude, it's a mindset. It obviously starts with me.
We really wanted to win this one so that before we could only win, we'd have to win 1 out of the next 2. But, we are where we are, so we got to win the next 2. And, we're going to come in tomorrow and come ready to work so we can try to beat Toledo. And then after we beat Toledo, try to beat Miami,
10
Ohio,
seconds.
and go from there.
All right, come back.
The Cardinals are at Toledo next Wednesday. Meanwhile, Ball State men's basketball is gearing up for its regular season opening. The Cardinals will be at St. Louis on Friday tip off their highly anticipated 2016-2017 season. Ball State defeated the University of Indianapolis in an exhibition last Thursday to get the ball rolling. Newcomers Tajay Teague and Taylor Persons both finished with double-doubles in the win. The Cardinals have now turned their attention to St. Louis. The Billikens are led by new coach Travis Ford, who came over from being let go at Oklahoma State. Head coach James Whitford and company are doing their best to prepare for Friday's game, but he admits the Cardinals don't really know what to expect.
In the SOT,
we don't have any game film on them, and they have a new coach. So it's not like you can watch last year's film. And
20 seconds here.
Play. You know, we're trying to watch Oklahoma State film, and we're trying to watch personnel on St. Louis from last year and piece together a puzzle that, quite frankly, you know, we don't know that much about. So it's an unusual game. There aren't many in college that you play where you know so little about the opponent as we do this one.
Come back.
Delta football earned a sectional championship under first-year head coach Travis Overholt last week with the win against conference foe Mount Vernon. Now they'll have to defeat another familiar foe if they want to win their first regional title since 2001 on Friday. The Eagles will face off against undefeated number 1 in 4A Ron Colley, a team that ended their season in the regional round last year by a score of 49-12. Delta knows that they must play their best football Friday in order to pull off the upset and keep their season alive.
We took care of the football very well. We're made to run the football, and that's what we did. And so when you're executing very well at what you do, you got to be proud of your guys.
When we carry the ball 40 times a game, I mean, we're controlling the clock. And, I mean, it's usually working in our favor because we've stressed so much.
All right, we got
on
25 seconds here.
We're working on, reading your keys, don't get sucked in, don't let the ball go over your head. We think we do that, we can be very competitive.
We played them last year. We just got to fix minor things and work on a running game and work on a passing game.
Just another game. We're not asking you to be the best team in the state of Indiana. We're just asking you to be the best team on the field that night and play your best football.
Come back.
Well, thank you very much for that look into sports, DeMarcus.
And coming up after the break, we'll get one last look at that weather forecast.
In the break.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to shelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow. She's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories.
We're coming back, camera 1 on the 4-shot.
Rulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please.
Fine with that if you
like
are.
Another dog I know. So go to the
Actually, we get all of the desk in
search
it.
your local shelters
So we
and
have
rescues
the
and go for a cuddle with your next best
monitor
friend.
down there.
Adopt.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was
Get all
rough.
of the desks up.
I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got
All
into
of
it
it.
so bad, I wound up looking like an ice
Not
cream.
that far. Zoom in just a little bit.
Cried a little bit, but
Cut the
thankfully I
lights
got
out.
rescued, so I'm
Tilt
running,
down.
jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
All right, yeah. Go ahead and save something.
There's
then
one
you can
thing
invest
you
it.
can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or
Less
something
than
you
a minute.
take.
About 55.
In fact, there's only one way to get
55 net.
It has to be given to you freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
40.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
30 seconds. $20. 15. 10. 7. Come back.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. And Caleb, how about one final look at that weather?
Yeah, so your 7-day forecast is looking fantastic, but I mentioned those frost and that freeze. Saturday and Sunday night, overnight, temperatures are going to drop down below the frost level, which is 36 degrees. We're going to see 31 and 33 degrees respectively. So if you have any plants outdoors, make sure to cover them up or bring them inside during the overnight on Saturday and Sunday.
Well, we will
Have
be
them
sure
wrap.
to do that. And that is all for
Camera
tonight's
one.
NewsLink Indiana.
Camera
Be
one.
sure to watch
Camera one.
tomorrow night at 9 p.m. right here on Cardinal Vision.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a good night.
All right, Kendall.
All right. 15 seconds.
If we go out in black, that'll actually be good. So 5 seconds of black isn't the worst
5
thing
to
ever.
black. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're clear.